few months ago, I snagged one of my dream cars. As you guys know, it's a 2004 Mitsubishi Lancer Evolution 8. It's a car I've wanted for a long time, and I almost bought one a couple years ago, and I kicked myself for not actually picking it up. Now, this Evo has been torn apart, ran through, and it has sat since 2017. It actually used to live life as a drag car, and then got parted out before being sold and passed around to a couple owners. Now it's in our hands, and I feel it's my responsibility to bring this thing back from the dead. Now, with that being said, this car has a lot of ups and downs, and a lot of the downs are some old grimy parts, and I want to get this thing to be a rolling chassis that functions with brakes before we start building our 4G63 and making this Evo 8 into a 5-600 wheel horsepower street car. This thing needs a lot of love. So as much hoopla and as excitement there has been over the past couple days with the STI, we're going over to the shop today to work on the Evo. I'm waiting on my wheel spacers to come in for the STI so we can go try to drive it. My tires get dropped off tomorrow, so I'm going to be stuck at the house tomorrow anyways, so we can get some more work done on the STI. But I want to get the Evo as a technically rolling chassis today, because there's no brakes on the car. One of the e-brake boots is being a little bit annoying, so we got to go fiddle with that. We're gonna get it to become a rolling chassis. I have the Evo wheels here. After I get the wheel spacers and the other wheels on the STI, I'll take the Evo wheels back over to the shop so that way we can move the Evo around as necessary. But it's a pretty gloomy, rainy day. It's supposed to be that way for the next couple of days, so figured why not go lock ourselves in a heated shop, work on the Evo. Just got out here to the shop, dude. I am so over the rain. We've been tossing around the idea of moving somewhere where there's less consistent rain. It's so gloomy and annoying to deal with. We've been looking at like Arizona, North Carolina, Texas, a whole bunch of other areas, not California. California didn't even make it on the list. Nevada, deserty. I want desert. Give me desert. Let's get the car unloaded and start working on the Evo. Also got a nice sandwich, chicken bacon ranch. Pristine. Oh, Kiki. Oh my God, I don't want to go out there. Good Lord. Look at that, I have my own personal waterfall back here. Dope. Oh, hello. Now let me get all the crap out of there. Put it somewhere over here. One thing that I really like about the shop is the fact that I can close this door. I don't have phone service in here. And when I close the door, I kind of like get away from the world because I get like no phone notifications. I can listen to music, that's about it, which is fine because it's really all I need. But it's nice because I can close the door, I can forget what's going on outside. I don't know what time it is. It's just, I can like get away and just focus on things. So the game plan for today is to make our Evo a full rolling chassis. If you guys remember in the last Evo video, it was when the Golf R blew up actually. We got the brake rotors on, we got the e-brakes reassembled. One of the e-brakes is being a little bit of a pain. There's a star bolt adjustment on the bottom of it that I'm gonna have to play with, but I wanna get the Brembos reassembled, get them on the car. If possible today, I'd like to get the engine onto the engine stand and start taking measurements off of the crank so that way we know what our clearances are. If all of our clearances check out, we can come back here in the next couple of days and start assembling our 4G63 down there that's been chilling in that box. So I still have one more case half to sandblast. It's already in the sandblaster. I've got that one done. But all the rest of our Brembo calipers over here are already sandblasted, ready to go. We went with this nice octane blue color on everything. I think they're gonna look awesome. We've got our rebuild kits somewhere on this rack. We've got, oh, right here, we've got rebuild kits, new Brembo stickers, all that good stuff right there. So let's start off by assembling these three Brembos. It's not too bad. I'll walk you guys through one of the reassembly process. After we get one of them reassembled, I'm just gonna time lapse through the rest of them so that way we can get these things back on the car because there's more progress that I'd like to make because as you can see, the rack of Evo 8 parts is just overtaking me and I'd like to get that transmission on the engine soon. So let's do a rear Brembo. So on these guys here, you're actually gonna insert these so that way this flat portion goes into the caliper itself. This little lip on the edge of this is where it seals the actual new seal to keep everything like nice and tight. So I'm gonna go ahead and lube these up with a little bit of brake fluid. I'm just using some Motual because it's what I have on hand. And then we can slide these guys right in. Make sure that you are clean on the inside of there. There are some inset O-rings in here that I'm going to be changing as well. Just like that. Now this seal will go on. Oh my gosh, I'm an idiot. Okay, I need to pop it back out just a hair though. Oh my goodness. Yeah, definitely put the seal on the piston first. That's gonna make your life 1,000 times easier. And then from there, you can just literally push it in. So what'd we learn? Seal on the piston first. Now this Brembo is done. It's got a new seal. It's got its guy. Set you aside. Now we can do what we just learned again. Now this is what I was talking about, the little O-ring. If you look at the front half of the one you just did, there's a little inset groove right there where that O-ring has to sit. Do not forget that O-ring. Now with that O-ring sitting there, you're gonna take your other case half caliper and you're just gonna line it up on the top. Try to hold it together and then get these bolts in. The main thing you are not wanting here is that O-ring to come out. So mine is actually staying in there on its own, which is good. Get these guys just in there to line everything up. Come back here, tighten these down. Now I don't know if there's an actual torque spec on these. I just go tight as fuck by hand. I don't use power tools on these. I wouldn't suggest to use power tools on these because Brembo never intended for people to take these apart like we are. So just keep that in mind. There's no real torque spec. I think Fast WRX has a torque spec on Brembo case halves, and I think they say about 35 foot-pounds or something along those lines. But if I can find it, I'll put it up on the screen for you guys. But that's pretty much it. So I'm gonna run through these other two calipers I have here in front of me, do this exact same thing, and then we can get these guys on the car and we'll probably wrap up this other Brembo case half that I have sitting in front of me here, just to get these brakes off the rack. Like, I don't like having a ton of parts just sitting around like this. So let's knock it out. Let's do the stuffs. Let's do the stuff and the things, you guys. To be honest, I'm really happy I went with this blue color because I think it looks so good behind the wheels back there. Now, you guys just saw me get one of the fronts on. I made a small mistake. It's gonna be a little, I can't really show you guys, but I put this one on the wrong side. And the only reason I know I put this one on the wrong side is because when I was going to hook up the brake line back there, I was going to hook it up to this. And yeah, it's on the bottom and it's supposed to be on the top. So I'm just gonna pop this one off, throw it on the other side. And then back here, I need to figure out this e-brake situation because for some reason this rotor will not slide over the e-brake. So I'll fiddle with that. Once we get that one figured out, I can get that Brembo on. And then it's just down to finishing that last Brembo and getting the rest of the brake lines on. And then we have a rolling chassis for an Evo. Thank the heavens, because I'm tired of this thing just sitting around and I want to get this thing going and driving. It would be nice to have another daily driver if I choose to drive the Evo or the BRZ. This car is a hot mess for wiring, and I'm not looking forward to dealing with that situation, or that situation, or that situation. But we'll get it figured out like we always do. So let me pop that Brembo back off. Let me get it on this side. Let's figure out that e-brake situation, and then we'll sandblast away for the next hours on end to get that thing done. But whew, those brakes look good. I'm about it. This thing's legit kicking my ass. I'm spending way more time on this than I want to, and it's bothering the hell out of me. So I'm just gonna fully disassemble this thing. For some reason, these are not compressing enough to be able to get the rotor over it. I tried fiddling with it every single way I could before taking the e-brake shoes off, and I don't think I have any other choice right now but to take the e-brake shoes off. So, well, this is gonna suck. Not looking forward to this, so let me disassemble all this, spend the next 2 hours fiddling with e-brakes again.
Get a microphone dead. Don't step to me, newbie. I could truly be moody. I could have played the fucking Grinch in the movies. I've been a part-time shadow cat, part-time. That is not a guy that I would ever want to try to battle rap. Snap, crackle, pop, mind fried to a crisp, make an MC into a wide-eyed lunatic.
Let me just say I have a new hatred for e-brakes. I would rather wire the STI again than have to do e-brakes again. This shit is awful. It's on there. It's a tight fit. I have a feeling that e-brake pad on the inside just needs to wear down a little bit. So I'm gonna send it as is. Like right now I have the e-brake up and that thing ain't going anywhere. So I'm gonna go ahead and get the caliper put back on this side, brake pads, brake line, all that, get this side reassembled. And then the only brake I have left is this one, which I still have to sandblast and powder coat, which we'll do tonight. I just want to get it done with, get all these brakes figured out and put back on. I also have to do the hard lines up here for the fronts. I decided not to run the shields because the dust shields I really just don't care to. And those, I'm not looking forward to those either. My appreciation for, actually my hate for e-brakes has only grown even more. So now that we've got these 3 calipers on, which took me way longer than I ever wanted it to, I need to finish sandblasting the one that I have in the cabinet. The one in the cabinet is almost done. Let me pop it out of here. Like, it's legit almost done. There's just like speckles of red left on here that I need to go through here and finish sandblasting. So I'm gonna go ahead and knock that out real quick. After that case have to sandblast it, I gotta knock out these 2 little hard lines. Oh, I gotta do these 2 little guys as well. I'm gonna powder coat those black, but I'm gonna go ahead and get the rest of sandblasting just done with right now. If anyone is still in the complex, I'm sorry, my compressor is gonna be running for a little while. I'm gonna pop in some headphones, zone out, just finish sandblasting these. We're gonna get them powder coated, throw them back on the Evo, and then at that point, I can throw this brake fluid in the Evo, and we finally have brakes. This car hasn't had brakes on it since 2017. This poor Evo hasn't had anything on it since 2017, so I feel kind of bad for it. But let's bring it back to life.
You with 2 hands tied and have you waking in the hospital like, who am I? And who are you? Who are they? What is this? You wouldn't believe how someone react to this shit. The mind slipping, speaking in tongues. Fly ink, GVA, that's how we get it done. That's how we get it done. That's how we get it done.
I've got that one last caliper half sandblasted at this point. Now it's in the oven. I ran it through the parts washer just to clean out any sand. Also ran it through, or ran a whole bunch of compressed air through it to try to clean out any more sand. So once that thing is done in the oven, I gotta pop it out, let it cool for a minute. Go ahead and connect it up to our other caliper half. We can powder coat that one blue. Then we're gonna do these little stupid crossover tube guys. We're gonna do those black, and then I'll clear coat them all at the same time. Then we can get that one reassembled, get it on the car. It's like 6 o'clock right now. This stuff takes, it's like this small shit when building cars that takes forever. Like rebuilding your Brembos, powder coating your Brembos because you want them to look nice because you're a bougie bitch. All that kind of stuff. It just takes forever. Next week, I'm definitely not going to be able to get the engine measured out today to see where we're at for clearances. That'll be a couple day thing from now, so that way we can start assembling our 4G63, get it in the car, start getting the Evo to a running state. At least after today, it'll be a rolling chassis. It'll be a functional rolling chassis with brakes, which is literally what I was shooting for today. I don't know why I haven't bought oven mitts yet for the oven, but I probably should. But hey, dude, these Brembos came out good. These things look solid. For anyone curious on the color on these are Octane Blue. I got the color off Prismatic Powders. I'll link the color down below, but honestly, I'm really glad I went with this color. I think it looks really good on the Evo. I think it really just looks good in general. Throw it on any car, it looks solid. So let me pull that thing out. Let me set it down to dry, or to cool off for a couple minutes. We'll get it masked up. Then we can get it powder coated, baby. Then we can start doing the fun stuff. Now, a lot of people tell me not to powder coat right next to the Evo, and I totally agree with you. I also don't really have a choice, so I'm kind of working with what I have for space, you guys. I do wipe down and I do clean the Evo after every powder coating session, so that way it doesn't just get absolutely demolished with powder coat, because yes, powder coat is not ideal for paint, obviously, so I do clean it after every powder coating session. Just keep that in mind. I think that's good for a first coat. Pop this in the oven for a little while. About 10 minutes, pull it out, do another coat. Do 2 coats of blue, 2 coats of clear, just like we did way over there. Ah! Whoa! It's in! That's stressful. So I kind of skipped ahead past all the powder coating and whatnot. I already did clean up, and then I also cleaned off the Evo to get all the powder coat off that. Last Brembo came out fantastic. Same with the little guys that the like bleeder crossover. I don't know what you call these. They're like bleeder valves that cross over to the other side. So I'm letting this cool for a little bit longer. It's like 9 o'clock right now, but I don't want to go home until I get this part of the project finished. I think I'm just going to start assembling that and getting it back on the car, so that way we can get out of here, because I don't think I'm going to be back here for a couple of days, and I don't want to leave until I finish the project. That's one thing a lot of people I don't think realize when like you guys watch these videos. These videos take a long time to shoot. Like I've been here all day and all I've gotten done is brakes, which doesn't seem like much, but it's like all the piddly shit when it comes to building a car that just takes so much time. Like letting your Brembos cool down before you rebuild them and throw them back in the car. So I guess I'll hang out for like 10 minutes and then we'll start rebuilding this thing. God, you guys have no idea how excited I am to finally be done with brakes on this car. E-brakes, calipers, rotors, I look dirty. I look real dirty. There is brake fluid in the reservoir now. I did fill it up a little bit with some Motul RBF 660, just so that way I could start to let it, like, quote unquote, gravity bleed or self bleed over the next couple days till I come back to the shop. I'll bring my Motive power bleeder. We'll bleed the brakes, and the Evo is technically a rolling chassis at that point because I have the Evo 8's wheels at the house. I'll bring those back over here so we can take it off jack stands, push it around as need be. I am just so fucking happy to be done with sandblasting, done with powder coating on this car. A lot of the other stuff on the rack over there I'm gonna Cerakote for the car, but let me show you these Brembos one more time because they just, oh, with those little accent black pieces, they came out fantastic. Now I know powder coating and sandblasting and whatnot compared to what we've been doing isn't the most exciting, but to get to the exciting stuff, we gotta get through the bullshit with this car also. But 10 out of 10, extremely happy with these. I'm really glad I took the time to do those bottom pieces black because I do think it adds a nice contrast or a nice accent to the brakes. It's the little details of a build like that where you take the time to do the brakes, you make them look good. If you guys remember what the brakes look like, I'll put in a small clip right here. They were trashed. Paint was coming off of them. They looked like poop. They were garbage. They were absolute garbage looking brakes. And now they look, oh my god, dude, killer. They look brand fucking new again. So it's about 10 p.m. right now. I got some orders to go drop off at the post office and I'm going home, so we'll end this video at the house. But 10 out of 10, dude. Happy with the way these brakes came out. All right, good morning, my friends. It is obviously the next morning, back at the garage with the Subaru and whatnot kicking in. I'm still waiting for my tires to get dropped off. Decided to go 275 35 18s on the STI. I think 275s will be able to hook nicely on this car. So really looking forward to be able to get those on the works, get those fitted up. I still got to get coilovers, but that is to come. Now with the Evo, I did order the exhaust manifold for the Evo last night. I had a stock one with a crack in the gooch. I don't want to use the crack gooch manifold, so I just ordered the FP manifold. I've been going back and forth a lot on what I want to do with the Evo, like what turbo setup. And honestly, I think an FP black on the Evo with an FP manifold, we'll Cerakote it here in the garage just because if I can do it myself and I don't have to pay for the Cerakote, obviously that's gonna save us money. So we're just gonna do, or I have an FP cast manifold on the way. I'll get an FP black ordered here in the next couple of weeks. I've already got the fuel system purchased and it's all at the shop also. So now that we have a rolling chassis for the Evo, I'll take the Evo's wheels back over there for the time being. Those are sold. The buyer's gonna pick them up whenever he gets time. I'm in no rush to get rid of him. I don't think he's in a huge rush to come pick them up either. It'll be fun. The goal for the Evo is like 500 wheel, just a fun street car. The engine that I'm building is gonna be capable of around 800. So there's definitely room for us to grow in the future if we do want to push more power to the Evo. But that's all I got for you guys on this one. I know it's not as of an exciting video as the STI is right now, but like I said, we got to get through all the BS with the Evo before we can get to the fun stuff. That's just how building cars goes. There's a lot of little BS things that you just got to knock out. So that's all I got for you guys. If you liked the video, you know what to do. Go ahead and hit that like button, turn it black, blue, green, yellow, purple, silver, cyan, whatever color it turns for you. And if you're not already subscribed to the channel, which you should be, because this car is going to be going to the dyno soon. We're going to be doing a lot of fun stuff with the STI, with the H6 in it, with the Evo. A lot of fun stuff to come with the Evo as well, and with the BRZ. We got some fun stuff coming for the BRZ too. So that's all I got for you guys. So with that, I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace out, homies.